Hi everyone, I'm Tang Tang from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the Osmanthus moon lantern. This product is divided into the ring, the bunny toy, the moon, the Osmanthus bouquet, the battery cover, the hanging string, the tassel, and the final assembly. First, crochet the edging around the finished plastic ring. Then make the remaining parts and assemble them after completion. Let's first learn how to make the ring. The stitch patterns used include X single crochet, slip stitch and chain stitch. Please watch the demonstration. First, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, R plus number indicates the round number. H plus number indicates the row number. And there is also a column for increases and decreases explanation, indicating the stitch patterns needed when crocheting the current round, as well as any increases or decreases. The total stitches column shows the total number of stitches. After completing all the stitches in the current round, take out the corresponding yarn. The swatch colors are random. For specific yarn, refer to the color scheme and hook size. Please refer to the detail page of our product and the printed pattern instruction. Take out the finished plastic ring and the corresponding yarn. Hold the yarn with left hand. Hold the hook with right hand. Place the yarn behind the plastic ring. Start by leaving a little yarn tail. Insert the hook into the plastic ring. Pull the yarn through. Then crochet one chain stitch as the turning chain for single crochet. The turning chain for single crochet does not count as a stitch. Then crochet single crochets around the plastic ring. While crocheting, wrap the starting yarn tail together into the stitches. There is no set number of single crochets. Just make sure it fully covers the plastic ring. After completing the last stitch, pick up the stitch of the first single crochet and crochet a slip stitch to join. The first one is the V-shaped loop of the turning chain. Pick up the left side of this loop to crochet. The joining slip stitch at the end does not count as one stitch. Need to pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. Actually, when crocheting in rounds, you always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull it tight. This way the edging is completed. Finish with a chain stitch to secure. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Thread the reserved yarn tail through the yarn needle. And hide it inside the edging. You can hide all the yarn tails. Then tidy it up slightly. This way the ring is completed. Set it aside for now. Next we'll learn how to make the bunny toy. It's divided into the head, front legs, body, back legs, and the tail, ears and facial features. Once completed, we will proceed with the assembly. First, let's start with the head. Begin with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is the X-stitch single crochet. Pay attention, the bunny is entirely crocheted using the X-stitch single crochet. Watch my demonstration for the detailed crocheting method. Take the yarn. First, start with a magic ring. Starting the stitches here means using the magic ring method for casting on. Begin with an adjustable magic ring. Once completed, we will crochet the first round. The number in front indicates how many single crochets to make. This means crocheting 8 single crochets into the magic ring loop. First, work 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you need to work a turning chain at the beginning of each round. The turning chain does not count as a stitch. Then start crocheting the X-stitch single crochet. Insert into the magic ring. Place the hook above the yarn. Then draw the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. 1 X-stitch single crochet is completed. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Let me demonstrate again. Insert into the loop. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Another X-stitch single crochet is completed. Continue picking up the stitch loops in the back. Crochet 6 single crochets. From now on, all the single crochets will be X-stitch single crochets. Continue crocheting. After completion, close the magic ring. Simply pull tight the starting yarn tail. The loop is closed. Next, on the first single crochet stitch of this round, finish with a slip stitch. Locate the first single crochet. Pick up the stitch loop on its upper right side. You can also count the stitches backward from here. Double check. Insert. Work 1 slip stitch. Place the starting yarn tail over the hook and pull through. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Need to pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. In actual crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Whatever number is shown in front, you work that many single crochet increases in a row. Here it means working 8 single crochet increases in a row. First, make 1 beginning chain to start. Let me emphasize again. At the beginning of every round you need to work a beginning stitch. I won't repeat this explanation later on. Work 1 single crochet increase, that is, insert the hook at the slip stitch position. Work 2 single crochets. Keep the starting tail above the hook while crocheting. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The single crochet increase is now complete. Continue working single crochet increases into the left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the ends. The second single crochet increase is complete. In this round, you'll work 8 single crochet increases in total. The remaining 6 increases, all of them, should be worked by increasing every 1 stitch, working 2 single crochets into the same stitch. After completing the last single crochet increase, check the stitch count. You can count the stitches backward. This round has a total of 16 stitches. The total stitch count for each round is clearly marked in the corresponding chart. I won't mention this again moving forward. Next, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Be sure to, after completing each round, always join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. After completing the slip stitch, pull tight. The extra yarn tail from the beginning can be cut off directly, or you can leave it here, as stuffing. The second round is complete. Continue to crochet the third round, XV times 8. The parentheses here indicate a group, indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. First, make 1 beginning chain. Next, work 1 single crochet in the insertion position of the slip stitch below. Then crochet 1 single crochet increase underneath. 1 group, XV, is done. I'll demonstrate one more group. First, work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet increase. This is the second group. This round needs to be repeated 8 times in total. For the remaining 6 times, work 1 single crochet each, using the method of 1 single crochet increase. Finally, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes the third round. Take a look if you'd like. The right side has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. We will use the clearer texture side, as the right side of the entire fabric piece. Now move on to the fourth round. First, work 3 single crochets in sequence. Then work 1 single crochet increase. One group, 3 SC, 1 SC increase is completed. I'll demonstrate another group. First, work 3 single crochets in sequence on the left stitch. After completing it, work 1 single crochet increase. This completes the second group. Continue following the chart to work this group of stitches. Then join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. This completes the fourth round. Now move on to the 5th round. Make 1 beginning chain. The chart says, work even for 30 SC, which means 1 stitch to another, work single crochets. Each round has 30 stitches. The total stitch count is the same as the previous round. When you come across this format later, the meaning will be the same. After completing it, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. This completes the 5th round. Let's take a look. A raised texture on the right side represents 1 round. Count these textures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've completed 5 rounds. For the following rounds, just crochet according to the pattern chart. When crocheting, don't forget to make the turning chains and slip stitches. Keep crocheting until you finish the 12th round. I finished mine here. Remember to adjust the fabric so the right side faces out. Now let's crochet the 13th round. Make 1 beginning chain. First, follow the pattern chart and work 5 single crochets in sequence. After that, the next stitch is a single crochet decrease. Let me show you first. The 2 threads of the stitch. The thread closer to the right side is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. First, insert into the front loop of the first stitch. Then insert into the front loop of the left stitch. There are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pass through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain. Yarn over, draw through in once. Single crochet decrease completed. This method of picking up only the front loops for decreases is called invisible decrease. When crocheting with this method, the gaps between stitches are smaller. The fabric looks more delicate overall. This group, 5XA, is completed. Let me demonstrate another group. First, work 5 single crochets into the left stitches one by one. Be careful not to insert into the position where you just made the single crochet decrease. One single crochet decrease. Insert the hook into the front loops of the next 2 adjacent left stitches one by one. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops on the hook one by one. Repeat twice. Single crochet decrease completed. The second sequence is completed. Everyone follow the demonstration of the second sequence. Refer to the pattern chart and work all the way through this roll. This completes round 13. For the following rounds, just follow the previous demonstration. Crochet the corresponding stitches according to the chart. Keep working until the last round is completed. I've already finished it ahead of time. Finish with 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Next, take out some fiberfill. Fluff it up by rubbing it between your hands. Stuff it in little by little. You can rotate it like this while stuffing. Push the filling towards the sides. Don't stuff only in one spot. Make the fabric firm and round, without any dents. Add a bit more at the cheek area. Set it aside for now. This completes the head. Next, let's learn how to make the front legs. The cast-on method is the same as for the head, only the number of stitches is different. All are started with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. No new stitch techniques are used. Follow the same crocheting method as the head. Refer to the stitch count for the front legs. Continue crocheting until the end of the 5th round. I've already finished this part in advance. Remember to keep the right side facing out. Now let's crochet the last row. Make one beginning chain, then fold it in half along the slip stitch mark. Insert the hook into the first stitch and the last stitch. Go through both at the same time. Crochet one single crochet to close them together. The following stitches are all worked the same way, going through both front and back stitches together. Crochet the single crochets together. A total of 6 single crochets. When completed, crochet one chain to secure. Break the yarn, leaving a 5 cm tail. This completes one front leg. Everyone make another one. Set it aside for now. Next we'll learn how to crochet the body. Using the same foundation method as the head, just with a different number of stitches, all worked using the magic ring method, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. No new stitch techniques are used. Follow the same crocheting method as the head. Refer to the bodice stitch pattern. Crochet all the way down to the 4th last round. I've already finished that part in advance. Now we'll crochet the 3rd last round. Make one beginning chain to start. First, follow the chart and crochet 7 single crochets in sequence. Then take out the front leg. Take the last 6 stitches from the leg and join them with 6 stitches from the body, crocheting single crochets together. Note: the side with the slip stitch mark should be at the back. Once completed, continue by crocheting 4 single crochets in sequence on the body. As you crochet, take the yarn tail, where the leg was fastened off, wrap and crochet them together. Then take out the other front leg. The side with the slip stitch mark should be at the back. Take the last 6 stitches from the leg, and join them with 6 stitches from the body, crocheting single crochets together. Note that the front leg has been turned over, so the stitches correspond to the top left corner position. Once completed, crochet the remaining stitches on the body. Finally, join with a slip stitch. This completes the third to last round. The last 2 rounds don't use any new stitch techniques. Just follow the pattern chart for crocheting. Once completed, leave a long yarn tail for sewing at the end. This completes the body. Next, take some fiberfill and stuff it in. Then thread the reserved yarn into a yarn needle. Take out the head. Position it with the slip stitch mark at the back, facing yourself with the face portion of the head. You can locate the continuous single crochet increase points. The single crochets in between are considered the front side. You can use a yarn marker here. The slightly raised part of the body should also be at the back, with the other side facing you. Then use yarn to attach the head to the body. Once everything is securely attached, take a look. to see if the face and body are centered. If they are not centered, you'll need to adjust the securing position. Once it fits properly, begin sewing. Use a whip stitch, matching one stitch to another. Sew slowly and check if it's crooked. If it starts to look uneven, adjust in time. When you're near the ending position, you can add a bit more fiber fill. Sew through the starting position again. Tie off and weave in the ends neatly after sewing. If there are any extra yarn tails, if you notice the front legs are a bit curled up, you can secure them in place by stitching with yarn. This completes the assembly of the head and body. Next, let's learn how to make the back legs and tail. You can follow the same crochet method used for the head, just refer to the pattern chart for the back legs and tail to crochet them. I've already finished mine ahead of time. Now, thread the reserved yarn tail of the back leg through a yarn needle. Sew it onto the fourth round of the body. Right underneath where the front legs are, leave about 4 stitches between the 2 back legs. And one back leg is sewn in place. Now sew the other back leg on as well. That's how you attach both back legs. Next, thread the reserved yarn tail of the tail through a yarn needle. Sew it right behind the legs. Onto the 8th round of the body. Make sure it's roughly centered. Now the tail is securely attached. Now let's move on to learning how to crochet the ears. We'll start the ears with a chain stitch, then crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Once completed, sew them onto the head. Apply a little blush in the center, doing it in several light layers. Please watch the demonstration. Take the yarn. First make a slip knot. Insert the hook into the knotted loop. Adjust the loop size. Then begin casting on. First, crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches according to the pattern chart. Once completed, work the first round on the second chain from the hook. Pick up the top loop of the chain and work a half loop, meaning one single crochet on each of these threads. Then continue working single crochets into the top loop of each chain stitch. Keep crocheting until there's only one stitch left. On the last chain stitch, work one single crochet 3 in 1, meaning 3 single crochets in the same stitch. While crocheting, rotate the piece. This completes the single crochet 3 in 1. Now you've reached the other side of the chain. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and crochet. Meaning the insertion point for the single crochet on this side. Work 4 single crochets in sequence. Be mindful not to insert the hook into the same insertion point of these 3 single crochets. Once completed, work 1 single crochet increase at the end. Then join with a slip stitch. This completes the first round. Now move on to crochet the second round. Make 1 beginning chain, work 1 single crochet increase in the same place where the slip stitch was made in the previous round. Work 4 single crochets in sequence on the left stitch. One single crochet increase. Next, you'll see square brackets in the chart. This means the stitch pattern inside the brackets should be worked into the same stitch, meaning work 1 single crochet into the left stitch. 1/2 double crochet. And 1 single crochet. Once completed, work 1 single crochet increase in the next stitch. Work 4 single crochets in sequence on the remaining stitches. Two single crochet increases. Finally, join with a slip stitch. This completes the second round. Continue crocheting the third round. Make 1 beginning chain, work 1 single crochet in sequence according to the pattern chart. 1 single crochet increase. 6 single crochets. In the next stitch, work 1 single crochet and 1/2 double crochet in the same position. 1/2 double crochet in the same stitch on the left side. 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet. In the next stitch, work 1/2 double crochet and 1 single crochet. Work 7 single crochets in sequence on the remaining stitches. One single crochet increase. 1 single crochet. 1 single crochet increase. Slip stitch to connect. The third round is complete. Leave a long yarn tail for sewing. Trim off the excess yarn tail. This way, one ear is done. Everyone make another one? Next, let's sew the ears. Or you can wait until after attaching the facial features. Then sew the ears on. I'll demonstrate the ear sewing method first. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the ear into a yarn needle. Sew onto both sides of the top of the head. Around the position of round 2. Shape while sewing. The sewing position varies. The final look will also be different. The shape is up to your preference. After one ear is sewn on, sew on the other ear. You can adjust the ear position while sewing. This way the ears are sewn on. Next, apply blush to the middle of the front side of the ears. You can spread it evenly on paper first before applying. Try to keep it light and even. This way the blush is done. Next we'll make the facial features. First take 2 pre-made half beads. As the eyes. Apply glue to the smooth side. Attach them between round 8 and round 9 on the head. Leave about 6 stitches between the 2 eyes. Once the glue is dry. Next take the thread for embroidering the nose. Pull out 4 strands. Take them one by one. Thread the needle. Now let's demonstrate the method using a small sample. Right below the eyes. Centered on the stitch of round 9 on the head. Draw through and insert the stitch on round 9. Leave about 2 stitches in between. Gently tighten, but leave a little yarn tail. Then go to the next round of stitches. Come out in the middle position between the previous stitch out and in, and pass through the thread that wasn't tightened earlier. Then insert into the next round of stitches. Slowly adjust. Until it looks like this. Finally tie off and weave in the ends. This completes the embroidered nose. Next, create the red stripes. First, take a piece of red yarn, pull out one strand and thread it through the yarn needle. Centered above the eyes. Embroider 3 line segments. The middle one long, and the 2 on the sides short. Finally tie off and weave in the ends. Next, on the outer edge below the eyes, apply a bit of blush. You can spread it evenly on paper before applying it. Keep it light and even. This completes all the facial features. And that's it for assembling the bunny toy.